Let's talk safety today. Bearings are very important as we travel down the road. We need to make sure that our bearings are packed and lubed correctly. Let's talk about bearings.
Welcome to another 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday. Brought to you by the National RV Training Academy, the largest hands-on RV training academy in America. Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday.
So one of the first things that I do whenever I get to my spot in the campsite or in a state park, national park, whatever I do, I'm going to do a couple of safety checks on my RV. One of the things that I'm going to check is going to be my bearings. I'm going to go through a couple of steps of what I actually do and how I do it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my trailer just a little bit off of the ground, and I'm going to check my tires. I'm going to grab them side to side and top to bottom. If they wiggle at all, your bearings are probably going bad. If they're still solid, should be okay. So whenever I do that, I want to lift my trailer up. I want to do it with a jack, and then I also want to support it up underneath the frame, not the axle. Most of your manufacturers will suggest that you actually put the jack stands or whatever you're using to support it up underneath the frame and not the axle, so the axle doesn't bow or bend. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tire, I'm going to remove the hub, and then I will actually pull the bearings off. Whenever I pull the bearings off, I'm going to look at a couple of things. I'm going to look to see if they're pitted, if there's any black grease on it, or if they've ever been greased, or if they're running metal on metal. The grease is going to keep them rolling really easy and smooth. The grease should not be black, and there should be plenty of red grease on them. Now, whenever I take it off, I'm going to clean it. One of the best things to use to clean the bearing is non-chlorinated brake clean or parts cleaner. Whenever I clean them, I'm going to clean them really well. If I am going to use compressed air, which some of you will say, what I want to do is I want to be able to blow it from the front to the back out. This is without the race on it, but that's how I would do it. Also, using a compressor, you want to make sure that you drain the water out of the compressor because it's going to be rusted water, and you don't want to introduce rust to something that you're about to put grease on. Once the bearings are clean, I'm going to really look at them and see where they're at. See if they're still good, see if there's any flat spots on them or anything like that. Along these bearings right here, we want to make sure that they're good and operable. Whenever I go to grease these things, and I don't need to put a new one on, what I typically do is I take red and tacky grease, use it on tractors, use it on just about anything. I like to use red and tacky because of the high temperature. It's up to 450 degrees, so it's going to really do a good job when these things start getting hot when you're running down the road. Most people will use gloves when they do this. I'm going to tell you I don't because they're hard to find gloves in my size. What I do is I take a tube, usually I'll use a fresh tube, but I have either a tub or a tube, and I take grease, a couple fingers worth, and I smear them on my left hand, and if you're right-handed. You're going to try to get as much off as you possibly can. Wipe what you can off. The whole goal here is to get grease up through these bearings and coming out the top part. So what I do is I typically take it here and I press it in my hand. It doesn't take that long to actually do this, so I demonstrate on how I actually do this. I hold it just like this, and then I start pushing it into my hand. What I'm actually doing here is pushing the grease up into this part of the bearing. It's going to come out this side when it's all done, when it's packed in there. I try to do this as clean as I possibly can, so it just continues to go in there. When I need to wipe off, I just wipe off. And I'll do that all the way around. I'll spin it as I go along so that I'm getting plenty of grease up in here. Just keep going all the way around the bearing. Whenever I'm completely done, it starts to come out the top here. What I'll actually do is I'll run a small little bit of grease on the inside of the bearing to help it get on and seat. I don't use a whole lot of grease. I like to just put a little bit on it, clean it up, and put it all the way around. Now I want these bearings to be able to spin, So I'll actually spin them around in my hand, and I'll continue to get it through there and spin all the way around these bearings here. When the finished product is done, I usually try to get all the excess grease off so it's easier to work whenever you're getting it all put back onto the spindle. And I don't use a lot of grease. A lot of people will just pack the grease on. I don't. I like to just have it just a little bit on here like this. I'll use the brake cleaner on my hands so that it'll just clean this stuff right off. Use a couple rags and I'm all good to go. Once I get this bearing done and ready, I'm going to actually put the race back in. I'll knock the race into the spindle, and then we'll put the bearing on. When we put everything together, we'll use our castle nut, and we'll tighten it down to 50 foot-pounds, and then we'll back it off to hand tight, slide the cotter pin back in, and you're good to go. Now you can mount your hub back on, and your tire back up, and you're ready to go. So I told y'all earlier that this is a safety concern. The reason it's a safety concern is if you've ever driven down the highway and seen anybody lose their wheel and tire, it's usually that bearing not being able to put on there and it locks up. It'll also lock up your tires, cause a blowout. If that tire comes off, it can jump the highway. It can be a bad day for somebody. One of the other things that I do whenever I'm traveling and I stop to get fuel is I go by and I check my axles on my RV every chance I get, especially whenever I'm getting fuel. What I do is I walk around while my truck's fueling up. What I do is I walk around and I hit each one of my axles. I'm not too concerned about the temperature. What I'm looking for is an anomaly. Whenever I hit one and it says 200 degrees, hit the other one, it says 200 degrees. I go around the other side, one of them says 200 degrees, and then the next one says 400. That means that I've got a bearing going bad, and that's the first thing I'm going to check. I've pulled away from the fuel pumps before, went over, jacked my RV up, and found out that I had a bad bearing on it. That is something that I'm very concerned with, so I'm going to take action right then and there. So whenever I check these axles, if you have a Zerk fitting on the very end, that's for emergencies. And what I'll do is I'll pull the cap off. I will put my grease gun on there, shoot a couple squirts in it. It's going to get me down to where I need to go. Usually I'll head to an auto parts store if they have them, and I'll actually change them out there. They are extremely warm at that temperature. So working with a good pair of leather gloves, the right tools, you can actually pull that bearing off and replace it. Dexter and Lippert make most of your axles. There is a variant code on both of their axles. It'll actually give you the size bearing and everything if you look it up to where you actually know what you got. I always take that bearing off before I go and buy one unless I know the numbers. Once I have those numbers, I don't have to worry about climbing up underneath there and getting them. So I know the size of the bearing that I need to get whenever I go to replace that bearing. And there's your tech tip.
All right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today. Now for the reason that you're at the end of the video, roll the bloopers.
And no. Bearings, we'll start with your bearings so that we can get in or worrying about your and I rattle. One of the things that you need to, and we'll get, but I want to do it with, sorry. Why am I drawing blank? I missed it. When I get those, because it's going to have the high, and tut, another one down the drain. My eyes are so squinty you can't see them anyway.